Shalom Israel, Shalom, brothers Abayala coming back up to another cold cut. Like to give all praises and honor and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. All right, double honors to the men out there preaching in these last days on the highways and byways, trying to wake up and seal the hopeful elect. Right, the mighty Akwath out there reverencing their husbands, leading their households in righteousness. All right, raising up their young ones. And the little ones is out there as well. You may not be in a congregation, may not be in a camp, right? But you taking notes, you studying, you doing everything you got to do to seal, make your calling and election sure in Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shah. Right, this topic of this cold cut is going to be beware of covetousness. Beware of covetousness. Because, you know, in America, as you know, has a lot of things to offer to a lot of different people, you know, or maybe job opportunities, or maybe, you know, shoes, clothing, fashion, you know, different women or men, and all types of different things. These spirits can get into your mind, and now you always want to get that thing. Now you always want to go forward and try to obtain that thing. Now, it's not bad to want to grow out of your situation, but you also want to be content in the situation that you have as well. I'm going to go to Hebrews chapter 13, verse 5. Right? You want to be content, man. But a lot of people don't know how to be content. So their conversations always talk of things that they want to try to get, right? But never giving thanks to what they have now. Right? This Hebrews chapter 13 and verse number 5. Let your conversation be without covetousness, and be content with things as you have, with such things as you have. And that's the problem. A lot of people are not content with such things as they have. A lot of people they despise the things that they have. That's why they want more. But they never give honor and glory for the things they have through Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shah. The Lord didn't have to wake you up. The Lord didn't have to give you the car that, wow, I don't like my car. Well, you have a car. There's a brother out there that don't even have a car, man, that walks 10 miles. Right? He walks 10 miles to work. You have things that certain people, that other people don't have. You have to give honor and glory to Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shah for that. Right? It says, for ye have said, Slakia, for ye have said, I would never leave thee nor forsake thee. So you don't want your conversation to always just be of covetousness, always to be of things that, you know, you may not have, but you want to practice being grateful to the Lord as well. Let me go to Philippians 4 and 12. Right? This is the book of Philippians, chapter 4 and verse number 12. I know, let's see what Paul said. I know both how to be abased and I know how to abound. Everywhere and in all things, I am instructed to be full and to be hungry, both to abound and to suffer need. So first of all, you got to know how to adapt. Paul said, I know how to be abased and I know how to abound. So when I'm getting things, I know how to act accordingly. Hey, when I'm in the lowest state, almost homeless, I know how to act accordingly. There's certain people that's been homeless before, man. I lived in their cars, slept in their cars, slept in different places, you know, where they can just get some warmth. You know, there's certain people that know how to, and they're still happy with a smile on their face. Hey, you have billionaires that jump off the roof and kill themselves. You have billionaires that jump off the roof and they terminate their life. But they're billionaires. They have everything their heart could wish. They got the houses, they got the cars, they got the women, they can go anywhere they want. But why they end off in themselves? Because they don't have true joy and peace and love through Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shah. You may be poor, lights may cut off, you may want a bigger house, your family's cramped in a mean cottage, man. But you still give all glory, honor, and praise to Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shah because he gave you that. He gave you that, man. Right? You're not living in hotel to hotel. Right? You're not doing these different things. The Lord gave you somewhere to live. The Lord gave you a vehicle, whether it may be new or not. The Lord gave you a family, gave you a wife, gave you a woman. Right? Gave you a husband, beautiful children if you have some. Right? You got to know how to be abased and to also abound. Meaning, guess what? When the Lord does give you things, you still say all praise to Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shah for that, man. Let's read that again. Philippians 4 and 12. I know both how to be abased and I know how to abound. Everywhere. Right? Not just in your city, but let's say you move everywhere. Right? And in all things, I am instructed to be full and to be hungry, both to abound and suffer need, man. Right? And suffer need. Right? That's what Paul said. That was Paul's mindset. He knew how to adapt. You got to know how to adapt. Right? Let's go to 1 Timothy chapter 6. Right? This 1 Timothy chapter 6, and I'm going to start at verse 6. But godliness with contentment is great gain. So if you have godliness and then you're also content with the Lord gave you, that's great gain in the eyes of the Lord. The Lord is going to want to give you more. The Lord is going to want to continue to bless you, man. Right? And it says, For we brought nothing into this world, and it's certain that we can carry nothing out. Yeah, you was born into this world with not a dime. You didn't have any clothes, right? I watched my son being born, all praise to Yahweh Shem Yahushua. He had no clothes on. He didn't come out with a check. He didn't come out with a debit card, no sunglasses. He didn't come out with deeds to a house. He didn't come out with any of that, man. He came out with breath of life and his eyes open. Right? All praise to Yahweh Shem Yahushua. And when you leave this world, you can't carry anything out either. Right? And it says, and having food and raiment, let us be there with content. Yeah, the Most High gave you food to have in your stomach, and he gave you clothes on your back. Hey, be content, man. And the Lord's actually going to tell you what certain things you need to be content, man. Right? But you have food, you have raiment. Right? And it says, but they that will be rich fall into temptation and a snare, and to many foolish and hurtful lusts, which drown men in destruction and perdition. Yeah, it's not going off to be rich, but if you want to be rich, you're going to fall into a lot of temptations. You're going to fall into a lot of thoughts that are telling you to do things that are out of the ordinary through Yahweh Shem Yahushua to get that money. I mean, think about it. Look in this world right now. You got men and women selling their souls for a dime. You got men and women that's going out doing different things for some cash. Right? They selling things for some cash. They're doing all types of abominable and lewdful lusts just to make it in this society. So you, in Satan's world, remember he's the God of this world, you're going to be presented, offered with certain things as well to get that. You're going to have to say no a lot of times for that, man, if you want to be rich. Now, the Most High can do what he want to do, but just know you're going to fall into temptation and traps, man. Right? And it says, let me read that again. But they that will be rich fall into temptation and a snare, and into many foolish and hurtful lusts, which drown men in destruction and perdition, man. Right? For the love of money is the root of all evil. Yeah, the love of money is the root of all evil. We already know in Ecclesiastes, right? I believe the 10th chapter, paraphrasing, right? But hey, money is a defense, man. 10 and 7 on down, right? Money is a defense. Yes, it's okay to have money. Our forefathers had wealth. Right, but it was all established through Yahweh Shem Yahushua. Right? But if you start to love that money more than you love the Lord, now you're in idolatry. Now you start to serve money. Our forefathers didn't commit idolatry. That's why the Lord gave them riches. I mean, think about it. King Solomon, 1 Kings, the 3rd chapter, he just wanted to know how to rule the people of Israel, and the Lord gave him long life, and he gave him riches, man, on top of that. But he never even asked for riches. Because let me go to Proverbs chapter 23. Riches, you can't trust in riches. But men giving their trust over to money, over to vanity, over to lies, right? They're gonna end up falling away. Right? This is Proverbs chapter 23 and verse 5. Wilt thou set thine eyes upon that which is not? For riches certainly make themselves wings, then they fly away as an eagle toward heaven. So riches make themselves wings and they fly as an eagle towards heaven. I mean, you're not going to, when your bank account's depleted and when you have $1 million the next overnight, it can be gone like that. The IRS come and take your money, man. It's all gone from there. And brothers probably experienced that. They was up one year and the next year they was just down bad. And they looking like, what the hell happened? Because riches, they flew away as an eagle towards heaven. That's why you can't put your trust in it. But you got to put your trust in the Lord, because it is he that giveth thee power to get wealth. Right? That's Deuteronomy chapter 8 and 19. Let me get that. This Deuteronomy chapter 8. So you can't trust in certain things. You have to trust in Yahweh Shem Yahushua, because he gives you riches. It's Deuteronomy 8, and I start at verse 17. And thou say in thine heart, my power and the might of my hand have gotten me this wealth. But thou shalt remember the Lord thy God, for it is he that giveth thee power to get wealth, that he may establish his covenant, which he swore unto his fathers, as is his day. So the Most High gives you power to get wealth. It's not you that give power to get wealth, man. Yeah, I've been grinding all my life, right? Nobody can tell me nothing. I got this on my own. I did this on my own 2 feet. I stood 10 toes. No, that wasn't you. That was your heavenly creator, man. That was your power, right? So we can't be covetous and longing for after the thing. And that just goes back to what? Envying the wicked. You seeing things on Instagram. You seeing things on YouTube. You seeing things on TikTok. And now you want to lust after these things when the Lord said, envy not the wicked, man. Right? We're not even from here. This is not our world, man. This is not our kingdom. We are sent to what? Wake up the elect, live our day-to-day lives, Right? Use the word, not abuse this world, and wait for our Creator to get us up out of this kingdom, man. Right? Like I said, there's nothing wrong with elevation, but that got to be through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Yahshua. That can't be off your own accord. That can't be off your own accord. Right? So let's go back to that. 1 Timothy chapter 6 and 10. For the love of money is the root of all evil, while some coveted after. They have erred from the faith and pierced themselves through with many sorrows. Right? Because you compromise the truth for money. You take time off from the truth for money. I've done that. I know brothers have done that. And we learn, and the Most High has spirit and grace and mercy upon us. But now we learn it, and we learn now it's time that we got to tell this to other people that may have, been thinking about, taking time off from this truth or putting things on a back burner just for money, man. You can't be doing that. That's off. And the Most High will judge you for that, man. The Most High will judge. He will destroy you from that. The Most High said, okay, you want to take your time away from me? You want to take your time away from wisdom, from money? All right, well, go have it. And now you're nothing better than the rest of these people in the world, man. We were chosen to be set apart, but you still doing the same things as the people in this world. Money chasing, bag hustling, right? Trying to get to the money, trying to get to the bag all the time, man. Right? Trying to get these new cars, trying to get these new things going on. Look, man, be content with the things that you have. The Lord is going to give you the things that you need. Right? There's nothing more wicked than a covetous man. Right? Let me go to Sirach 10 and 9. It's the book of Sirach, chapter 10 and verse 9. Why is earth and ashes proud? There is not a more wicked thing than a covetous man. The Lord said there's not a more wicked thing than a covetous man. Right? A man that just wants to keep longing for more things. Because what's going to start happening is you're going to look at your neighbor and you're going to start coveting after his things. And that's breaking one of the 10 commandments. Now you want a woman like his woman. Now you want a house like his house. You want a car like his car. Now covetous brings envy. Because now, well, why does he have it but me? What is he doing better than me? I'm better than him. I'm better than her. Man, Lord, you should give me more. I should have more than that. Now you're bringing in more spirits. You see how that works? You start coveting. Now you start getting envy and jealous spirits, man. We should be content with the things that you have on your own. In the world, they call that insecurity. Right? Can't be insecure in this truth, man. Got to love what you have. You got to love what the Lord gave you. Right? And it says, for such an one setteth his own soul to sale, because while he liveth, he casts away his own bowels. And we know people like that. They sold their soul to Satan. These rappers, right? These entertainers, usually our people, right? But you have these entertainers, these rappers, these people that sold their soul to Satan, these athletes, right? They sold their soul to sell for more things. They may have $10 million, but they want $100 million. Right? So they kill off their firstborn child, their 17-year-old son. He dies in a shootout mysteriously after he signed a deal for $100 million. Because they sold out. You can't be like that. Right? Let me go to Colossians 3. Because that's going into idolatry. Right? It's Colossians 3 and 5. Mortify therefore your members which are upon the earth: fornication, uncleanness, inordinate affection, evil concupiscence, and covetousness, which is idolatry, man. So covetousness is idolatry. That's a lust. You can't go after, man. You start idolizing, you start bowing down. And idolatry doesn't always mean you have a shrine in your house, right? And you're burning different candles, right? And you bowing down to it. It doesn't have to. No, idolatry just means you put something else before the Lord. You make it a god. You make it an idol. We can't be doing those type of things. I mean, let's see what Paul says. It's Romans chapter 7. Start at verse 11. It's Romans 7 and 7. What shall we say then? Is the law sin? Yahweh forbid. Nay, I had not known sin but by the law. For I had not known lust, except the law has said, thou shalt not covet. So that covetous is going back to lust. You just lusting after it. You just desiring it, man. I mean, think about the man in Judges, the 7th chapter. Let's get an example of a man that got destroyed for his lust, for coveting. All right? I believe his name was. This man got him and his sons and daughters killed through lust. It's Judges chapter 6. I believe it's chapter 8. Or is it Joshua? It's like Joshua chapter 7. Because this man, he went off big time. Achan. It's Joshua chapter 8. Number start at verse 15. And it shall be that he that is taken with the accursed thing shall be burnt with fire, and he that all he hath, because he hath transgressed the covenant of the Lord, and because he hath wrought folly in Israel. So Joshua rose up early in the morning and brought Israel by their tribes, and the tribe of Judah was taken. And he brought the family of Judah, and he took the family of Zarhites, and he brought the family of the Zarhites man by man, and Zabdi was taken. And he brought his household man by man, and Achan, the son of Carmi, the son of Zabdi, the son of Zerah, of the tribe of Judah was taken. And Joshua said unto Achan, my son, give, I pray thee, glory to the Lord God of Israel, and make confession unto him, and tell me now what thou hast done. Hide it not from me. Yeah, they already knew what he did. It was just time for him to confess what he did. And we're going to see what this man Achan, the son of Zabdi, did. Right? We got to mention his father in that thing too. Right? Because when you go off, you don't embarrass yourself. You embarrass all your lineage, man. Right? And it says, and verse 20, and Achan answered Joshua and said, indeed, I have sinned against the Lord, God of Israel, and thus have I done. When I saw among the spoils a goodly Babylonian garment, and 200 shekels of silver, and wedge of gold of 50 shekels weight, then I coveted them and took them. And behold, they are hid in the earth in the midst of my tent, and the silver under it. So Joshua sent messengers, and they ran unto the tent, and behold, it was hid in the tent, and the silver under it. And they took them out of the midst of the tent, and I brought them to Joshua, and brought them unto Joshua and unto all the children of Israel, and laid them out before the Lord. So guess what? This man took a Babylonian garment after war, the spoils of war, and the Lord said, don't take anything they have. Burn it. But what did this man do? This man didn't do that. This man buried it and tried to get it for himself. He didn't think nobody knew. He didn't think the Lord seen him. See, the thing is, when people go off, they don't think the Lord is watching. They don't think the Lord has an eye or as an angel watching all your works, man. But guess what? This man is brought before the whole congregation and was exposed for his wickedness, for his covetousness. And it says, let's see the judgment. And Joshua and all Israel with him took Achan, the son of Zerah, and the silver, and the garment, and the wedge of gold. And see, that's money. He had silver under there. He had gold under there, and he had a Babylonian garment under there. I mean, how many Jakes would have been in his position? They looking behind their back, nobody watching. All right, let me stack all that up, and then they buried under the tent. Yeah, nobody seen that. I got it, right? But now the Lord had the messengers dig it up and present it before the Lord and before the congregation. I mean, they had themselves go off, man. The whole congregation was being played. If you got to think about it through the Spirit, you got people yelling at him, throwing things at him. What the hell is your problem in the Hebrew? What the hell is your problem? Saying it in the Hebrew, smacking him upside his head, yelling at his father. His father had nothing to do with it, yelling at his family because he decided to go off and got the whole congregation played. I mean, that's an embarrassing thing, right? And it says, and his sons and his daughters and his oxen and his asses and his sheep and his tent and all that he had, and they brought them into the valley of Kor. They took everything he had, even his sons and daughters, even the animals. Verse 25, and Joshua said, why hast thou troubled us? The Lord shall trouble thee this day. And all Israel stoned him with stones and burnt them with fire. And they had stoned him with stones. So hold on. Did it say burn him with fire? Did they say stoned him with stones or stoned them with stones and burned them with fire? Everything he had, even his sons and daughters, was killed, man. His children was killed for his iniquity. That's embarrassing. What type of father is that? But that's what happens when you start to covet after things. The Lord just don't judge you. He will judge your mother. He will judge your father. I mean, a lot of people don't think about that. Well, Lord, please don't judge me for my sin. Yeah, the Lord not going to judge you physically. The Lord going to take away your child with a sickness. The Lord going to take away your mother with a back illness, man. And now you're looking like, damn, what the hell's going on? You're not being judged physically, but your father of old age dies of a stroke because you decided to watch some certain things. You decided to go after certain women you already got a rib. You decide to do these things, man. Or you a sister and you decide to go after certain things that was forbidden unto you. And now the Lord is judging your family by it, man. See, this thing doesn't just affect you. It affects those all around you. And Israel don't think like that, man. It affects those around you. Let me read that again. Verse 25. And Joshua said, why hast thou troubled us? And the Lord shall trouble thee this day. And all Israel stoned them with stones and burned them with fire after they had stoned them with stones. And they raised over him a great heap of stones unto this day. So the Lord turned from the fierceness of his anger, wherefore the name of the place was called the Valley of Korah to this day. And guess what? They named that land after him based off the judgment that he was judged with, man. We can't be like a Khan. We can't be like that, man. You can't covet anything your neighbor has. Right? That's going back to the law. Let's read the law. Exodus chapter 20 and verse 17. Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's house. Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's wife, nor his manservant, nor his maidservant, nor his ox, nor his ass, nor anything that is in thy neighbor's house, man. And we can't be doing that in these last days. You got to be content with such things as you have. I mean, what did King Solomon ask the Lord for? Are we better than King Solomon? Right, let's go to Proverbs chapter 30. Proverbs chapter 30 and 8. Remove far from me vanity and lies. Give me neither poverty nor riches. Feed me with food convenient for me. Right. I mean, everybody's life is different. He said, feed me with food convenient for me. Meaning, give me the things that's sufficient unto me. Don't give me the things that belongs to this man. See, certain people can handle riches. Certain people, riches will destroy them. You begging for riches, but brother, the Lord doesn't give you riches. He's not hearing that prayer because if you got rich, the Lord knows that you're going to leave him. The Lord knows you're going to start serving money. 98% of your conversation is about how much money you got and how much money you're about to get next year. How much your account has increased and how to get people how to be like you. You want people to be like you now. You don't want people to be like the Lord. Yeah, I mean, I got all this based off my hard work and my dedication. You can do what I did. All you got to do is follow these steps. And now you're training people how to be like you. The Lord knows that if you have riches, you're going to destroy yourself. Hey, King Solomon said, don't give me poverty nor riches. Why? Lest I be full and deny thee and say, who is the Lord? Yeah, pride comes upon you. You start to get full. You start to deny the Lord. Who is the Lord? Say, I got money now. Right? You don't see this chain I got? Right? You don't see this car I got? Right? And what? And it says, or lest I be poor and steal and take the name of my God in vain. And when you poor, you're going to start to steal. You're going to start to take things. You're going to start to rob things, rob people, do different things, and take them. So you want to be content. That's the point of it all. I mean, King Solomon asked to be content, and he was the most wisest and richest man ever lived. And he wanted to be content. We should want to be content as well. Right? We can't take none of these things with us. Let's go to this parable in Luke, the 12th chapter. This is Luke chapter 12 and verse 15. And he said unto them, take heed and beware of covetousness, for as man's life consisteth not in the abundance of the things which he possess. Yeah, your life is not about how much money you got and how much cars you got and how much things you have. Like we said in 1 Timothy, the 6th chapter, you were born into this world with nothing, and you're not gonna leave with anything either. Right? You got songs like "Bury Me," and Lennon, right, by Rick Ross. That's off. Put bags of money in my tomb. Put bags of gold in my tomb. Like, come on, man. You can't do anything with it. Right? And it says, verse 16, and he spake a parable unto them, saying the ground of a certain rich man brought forth plentifully. And he thought within himself, saying, what shall I do, because I have no more room to bestow my fruits? So he had an abundance of fruits. Right? The most I increased them. And he said, this will I do. I will pour down my barns and build greater, and there I'll bestow all my fruits and my goods, and will say to my soul, thou hast much good laid up for many years. Take thine ease, eat and drink and be merry. So he's like, look, hold on. I'm going to start taking my ease. I'm going to take my foot off the pedal. Right? I'm gonna drink and I'm going to be merry. I'm going to be happy. I got all this food in my barns. I got all this abundance. Not once did he think about giving to the poor. Not once did he think about helping his brother. Not once did he think about even teaching his brother to get to where he was at. He just wanted to kick his feet up and take his foot off the pedal and lay back, right? And just enjoy his goods. Let's see what the Lord did to this man. Verse 20. But Yahweh said unto him, thou fool, this night thy soul shall be required of thee. The Most High said, I'm going to claim your soul. The Most High said, I'm going to claim your soul. Now, I mean, this is going to all the people, the brothers and sisters that may have certain things that other people may not have. Maybe in a certain position, and you don't think about helping your neighbor. You don't think about helping your fellow Israelite. You just want to kick back, chill, stop doing the works of the Lord, and enjoy your labor. The Lord will require your soul from you. And it says, then who shall those things be which thou hast provided? So is he that layeth up treasure for himself is not rich towards the Most High. And you're not rich towards the Lord. You don't teach. You don't go out on the highways and byways and teach your people. If you're a sister, you don't do womanly works. All you do is just heap up the gold, the cash, the things the Most High gave you, and now you want to take it ease. If the Most High kills you today, whose things shall those things be? Is it going to be your mother now? Is it going to be your son? Is it going to be your daughter? Are those things going to go to them? It's going to go to somebody else. It ain't going to be yours no more. Right? The Lord said, whose things shall those things be? Let's go to Sirach 39 and 21. It's the book of Sirach, chapter 39 and 26. The principal things for the whole use of a man's life, and you can break this down spiritually, are water, fire, right? You need water to clean yourself, right? Water to clean certain things. You need fire to cook. Iron to build, right? Make weaponry, make things to build things, right? Salt for flavor. Salt is also a preservative too. Flour of wheat, flour of wheat to cook, right? Honey, right? Milk, and blood of the grape, right? Which is the wine, blood of the grape, right? And oil for cooking, and clothing your back. All things are for good to the godly, so the sinners, they are turned into evil. If you're a godly person, you're going to use these things for righteousness. If you're an evil man, you're going to turn these things into wicked. And you can break this down on the spiritual level as well, man. Right? Let's go to Sirach chapter 21. Sirach 29 and 21. So the Lord is telling you all the chief things of a man's life that you need. Right? This is Sirach 29 and 21. The chief thing for life is water and bread and clothing and a house to cover shame. So if you have all those things that the Lord said that you need, you're good. You don't need nothing else, man. You content. You woke up today and you have all the things that you have sufficient for you. You have a house to cover shame, whether it's a big house or you want a house that's 4,500 square feet. Brother, it's just you. Why do you need a house 4,500 square feet? I want 10 bedrooms, 5 bathrooms, maybe a half bathroom. Talking about having, brother, you're good in your apartment that you have. It's just you. Even if you have a family, right? You have what else? Water and bread, man. You can put food in your stomach, and you can quench your thirst, and you have a house to cover shame. That's all you need, man. Right now, like I said, it's not a sin to have more, but only if the Lord decides to give you that. Only if the Lord increases your hand. But that means you have to help somebody else now. That money don't belong to you. That money belongs to the Lord. Those riches don't belong to you. That riches belong to the Lord. I mean, it's an easy thing to make a poor man rich. The Lord has done it many times in history. All right? Let's go to Sirach 21, 11. Let's prove that. This is Sirach chapter 11 and verse 21. Marvel not at the works of sinners, but trust in the Lord and abide in thy labor. Yeah, just keep doing your labor. Abide in your labor. The Lord sees you laboring. Abide in your labor. For it is an easy thing in the sight of the Lord on the sudden to make a poor man rich, man. So the Lord says the easy thing in his sight to make you rich. You can walk down the street and see a briefcase of $1 million. You wake up in your account, you have money, your bank just accidentally deposited money in your account. You just get a check, a refund check for no reason. The Lord gave you that. The Lord can give you anything. Just don't be covetous and just praise the Lord, man. Talk about how you increase your works in the Lord. And the Lord will increase you on a physical level as well. With that, I'd like to give all honor and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem HaMashiach Malak Yahushai, right? And bid him mighty strong. Shalom.